We're getting breaking news that the Aam Aadmi Party government in Delhi is now attempting to gag the media. A new circular by the Kejriwal government empowers the Home and the Law Department to take legal action against any report published or telecast which is deemed defamatory or negative in nature against the Chief Minister or other ministers. The circular dated the 6th of May says that any words or signs made against the Chief Minister, Minister or public servant in Delhi have to be reported to the Home Department. The Principal Secretary, Home, would then see if the offence is prosecutable and go ahead accordingly. The circular makes it clear that the charges would be filed for defamation under Section 499 of the Indian Penal Code, for which punishment could be a jail term of up to 2 years. Kamaljeet Kaur Sandhu is now joining us with more details. Kamal, what has triggered this diktat from the Arvind Kejriwal government in Delhi?
Well, Maha, ironically, a man who's himself embroiled in many controversies regarding freedom of speech. We've seen pending court cases against Arvind Kejriwal. This is obviously a bizarre diktat, and obviously Kejriwal has been dragged into many court cases. One of the reasons for this is obviously the way there have been controversies relating to him, relating to his ministers. This is one of the ways to actually defer or at least make sure that more number of cases do not come up against him. But this is a bizarre diktat. Media has just been doing its own work. There are obviously righteous questions being asked to his ministers, to Kejriwal. This is something which is uncalled for completely, especially about reporting the matter to the Principal Secretary, to the Home Secretary. This is not really heard of.
Kamal, I'll interrupt you there for a bit because Satish Upadhyay of Delhi BJP is joining us on the phone line now. Sir, are you all going to be taking up this matter of this bizarre diktat that has come from the Arvind Kejriwal government, which aims at gagging the media?
I think मुझे लगता है कि completely I disagree with this because केजरीवाल साहब ने तो पूरे अपोजिशन के लोगों के ऊपर जब भी आरोप लगाए हैं तो उन्होंने तो कहा, अपना रिटर्न रिप्लाईज में कहा इलेक्शन कमीशन को कि हमने जो आरोप लगाए हैं वो हम परसेप्शन के आधार पर आरोप लगाते हैं, और आज दिल्ली में काइंड ऑफ इमरजेंसी डिक्लेयर करना चाहते हैं। मीडिया को, मीडिया के एथिक्स क्या हैं, मीडिया के सर्टेन डूज एंड डोंट्स क्या हैं, मुझे लगता है कि मीडिया बहुत अच्छे से जानता है, उनको हमको बहुत बताने की आवश्यकता नहीं है। नाउ द इशू इज कि आप क्या कर रहे हैं। आप सेक्शन 499 या 500 दिखा करके लोगों को डराना चाहते हैं, आप लोगों के अंदर एक फियर क्रिएट करना चाहते हैं। दैट मीन्स देयर इज अ क्वेश्चन मार्क दैट यू आर डूइंग समथिंग रॉन्ग. There is something fishy in the government.
Mr. Satish Upadhyay, how are you all going to oppose this?
Definitely we'll oppose. We'll oppose. जैसे हम लोग डेमोक्रेसी में अपोज करते हैं, इसको भी अपोज करेंगे। और अगर कोई चीज गलत है उसको लेकर के today they have done something, we'll make a strategy and definitely we are going to oppose it.
Do you think this is in direct contradiction to what Arvind Kejriwal has always stood for, transparency in a democratic setup?
100% I agree with you. 100% it's a direct interference. I mean, what you want to do? I just don't understand. आप करना क्या चाहते हैं ये सब कह करके? आप क्या कर रहे हैं मीडिया के साथ? आप बाकी सब चीज में everybody knows his duty. आप अपना काम करिए.
Right. Okay.
And second, there मोदी जी. मोदी जी ने कहा कि अगर हम लोग कोई some deficiencies there.
Mr. Satish Upadhyay, I'll request you to stay on with us. We also have with us on the other line Ajay Makhan of the Congress Party. Mr. Makhan, this is a bizarre diktat coming in from the Arvind Kejriwal government. First of all, how is the Congress going to oppose this?
Well, this is absurd, and I have read the circular, the two-page circular. It clearly is, it is following suit of two things which he has done earlier. The very first day when they assumed office, they banned the entry of any reporter into the Players Building, which is the Delhi Secretariat.
That's right.
The second thing is, if you would see the last Kisan rally meeting at Jantar Mantar, they asked the police commissioner to ensure that no media people comes around Arvind Kejriwal. And the third thing which has suddenly come as a bomb is a threat, directly a threat to the media for anything. So this is something which I don't know how a person who claims to be the protector of democracy, protector of internal democracy, becomes and is acting like a dictator.
Ajay Makan, you're saying this is completely undemocratic. Do you think that this is even feasible in a system that we belong to? Can a clampdown on media actually be executed?
Legally, I'm not aware. I don't think anyone can legally do that. After all, how would a democracy work when it is shrouded in mystery? How would a government work when no one knows what is happening? Arvind Kejriwal claims to be the proponent of RTI, right to information. And now when he assumes power, he is stopping anyone to get anything out of this government, even going to the extent of threatening people who want transparency in the government. So Mr. Kejriwal and Aam Aadmi Party, they were different. They acted differently when they were in opposition. They acted differently even before that when they were running an NGO. And now as a chief minister, they are not like a democratically elected government. They are behaving like a dictator.
Ajay Makan and Satish Upadhyay, I'd request you both to stay with us. We have with us on the phone line consulting editor Rajdeep Sardesai. Rajdeep, Arvind Kejriwal has been showing signs of clamping down on the media, but has he gone a bit too far with this order?
Let's put it in perspective. There is nothing that Arvind Kejriwal has said in this order which is not there in our law of the land. Arvind Kejriwal or anyone is free to file a case for defamation. Whether he wants to do it against journalists or any, that is his prerogative. The question mark is because Mr. Kejriwal in the past, when he was in the opposition or even when he was in an earlier avatar as chief minister, he would make allegations against others, and then many of those allegations would be made at times in a manner that was considered defamatory. So Mr. Kejriwal will now have to realize that when he is in power, he will have to face the same criticism that he had to when he was that he would use against others when he was in the opposition. I think the difference we need to make here is between legitimate criticism, which Mr. Kejriwal must be willing to face and cannot claim that amounts to defamation. If he has any evidence where an officer or Mr. Kejriwal himself unsubstantiated allegations are made, he is completely entitled to go to the court. I am not aware why a circular is necessary. What Mr. Kejriwal is saying, he is already entitled to do under the law of the land. If there is anyone who makes a defamatory statement, please take us to the court. I don't know why the circular is being sent. Is the circular being sent as a signal to the media that Mr. Kejriwal intends to get tougher with them? If so, I think Mr. Kejriwal is getting himself into an unfortunate and unwarranted confrontation with the media rather than just focusing on the business of governance.
Also, Rajdeep, is it in direct contradiction to what Arvind Kejriwal has seemingly always stood for? Democracy, transparency. Will this sort of a stance harm his image?
Let's be fair now to Arvind Kejriwal here. There is nothing wrong if a government of the day decides to file a case for defamation against a news channel or a newspaper if they have enough evidence to it. That does not go against issues of transparency. As I said, I think we need to make a distinction between legitimate criticism, which Mr. Kejriwal must learn to take. Just because I criticize Mr. Kejriwal, that doesn't mean I am defaming him. On the other hand, if there is, if he has evidence that an officer or the chief minister has been wrongly targeted, then he is entitled to go to the law of the land. I just wonder why Mr. Kejriwal and members of his team now want to get into this constant confrontation with the media. Let's be honest, the very same media was once wooed by Mr. Kejriwal, and today the same media he's in a perennial confrontation with. So either it's a sign of nervousness or it's a sign that Mr. Kejriwal has decided to go on the offensive. And I don't think either of this really is helpful in a democracy. I would say if Mr. Kejriwal has evidence that the media is unfairly targeting him, he should take legal recourse without even having to issue this circular. Please go right ahead and do so. I don't think this circular was ever necessary to send out this message to the media.
Okay, Rajdeep, stay on with us. Let me go back to Satish Upadhyay of the BJP. Satish Upadhyay, Rajdeep Sardesai says that this circular was not necessary because whatever has been said in this order is already there. It exists in law. You can sue a media house if you have enough evidence that it is a case of defamation. In that case, do you think the taking out of this circular, the issuing of this circular rather, shows that perhaps this could be a threat of some sort to the media? All right, we seem to have lost our link there with Satish Upadhyay, but clearly we've got views from all sides, the BJP, the Congress, all saying that they are likely to oppose this circular. And what we know at this point in time is that this circular is dated 6th of May and says that any words or signs made against the Chief Minister, Minister or public servants in Delhi will be reported to the Home Department, and the Principal Secretary Home would see if the offence is prosecutable and go ahead accordingly.